Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect. Just want to do a quick video. Just going into the root words. Salakia. Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video going into the root word when you read in Revelation. As soon as my phone loads. In Revelation 13, which I was meditating on this, and to me, it just makes sense because you got a lot of Israelites that think when it comes to this major prophecy, Revelation 13 and 16, which I'm about to read, that, it's a spiritual mark, it's something that's spiritual, which we all know by now that Esau, he's not spiritual whatsoever. All right. If he was spiritual, he would have never sold his birthright. If they were spiritual, they would have never crucified Yahushua. Because this man is carnal. And well, as I'm about to just touch on, like I said, just go through the root word. As soon as this joint loads up, man. Oh man, this technology of Esau is a joke. My goodness. Bear with me. It's funny because, you be out and about, paying for groceries or whatever, and all the time, the machines malfunction or whatever, whatever the case may be. And sometimes, sometimes the cashier or whatever, they apologize or whatnot. And it's just funny because, I'll be telling them, like, with all this malfunctioning of this technology of Esau, which he boasts in so much, but I always mention how the Lord gave him the basis. He gave him the basis of the Most High gave Esau the basis of his technology, and this is what he boasts in. Because I always tell the cashiers, this is what they're trying to replace us with. And we end up laughing and cracking up about it because it's true. This is what they're trying to replace us with. And not only that, this is what they're trying to put in us as well. Which leads me back to the point. Because like I was saying, just meditating on this. I'm gonna go ahead and get into it in Revelation 13 and 16. And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now again, going into the root words, because there's more than just one. One is more than one root word. Root words, plural, multiple. All right, but as we know, or as we should know, the most common root word going into the mark is the Greek word there is Charagma, and of course, it says a stamp, an imprinted mark. An imprinted mark. All right, so that's the point, an imprinted mark. All right, and when you go to the Strong's definitions, of course, it says, to scratch, an etching, stamp as a badge of servitude, sculptured figure, graven mark, because that imprinted stamp, and this goes back to the law, just to show you how Esau, he knows, Esau, he knows. They know the scriptures, but like most of these, just like the these fake and phony Christians, they pick and choose like it's a buffet, what's suiting for them. Esau, he knows these scriptures. They know, because this goes back to our law when it comes to that imprinted stamp or imprinted mark. We'll just go to it real quick. in Exodus. Exodus, which again to show you how this is physical, you know, it's a physical thing. It's nothing spiritual. There's nothing spiritual about Esau whatsoever. All right. So in Exodus 21, bear with me. Exodus 21. I'll start at verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy an Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out with thee. Because, you know, just dealing with the law pertaining to having fellow Israelites as servants, you know, this is the law dealing with that, because going to Leviticus, when you pursue to Leviticus 25, you know, somewhere around the 45th verses, somewhere around there, you know, it goes into not dealing with our brothers, fellow Israelites as, you know, heathens, you know, because that's what the heathens are for. You know, we're not supposed to deal with them rigorously when it comes to Israelites being in servitude to other Israelites. You know, we're not supposed to deal. The master's not supposed to deal rigorously, harshly with, you know, another fellow Israelite. That's what the heathens are for. You know, you're supposed to deal with them as brothers, and so much that, hey, in some cases, like I said in verse 5, and if the servant shall plainly say, hey, that's why I mentioned this a few days ago, going into who was at Laban, you know, and Jacob, you know, Salakia, that's going into something else, Salakia. But like I said here and again in Exodus 21:5, and if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. So in some cases you did have it to where, you know, the Israelite that was in servitude to the master, in some cases he didn't want to go, you know. So if that was the case, all right, it was a conscious decision, you know, if that particular Jake decided he didn't want to, you know, he didn't want to leave. Well, in verse 6 it says, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. All right, and as a matter of fact, let me go through this real quick, because if I'm not mistaken, that might be another word somewhere else. But if I'm not mistaken, yeah, that's somewhere else. But nevertheless, yeah, that's another word. But I'll read it again in verse 6. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with an awl, and he shall serve him forever. Now, this we get these two words real quick, because you know it somewhat ties into the topic at hand, going into the root words of the word mark in Revelation, which I'm gonna go back to it. All right. So these words, because again, this is something that Esau, the top wicked elites, they want to put in us. All right. You know, it's one thing to because 2/3 they're already sold out. You know, they're already gone. But so to say, the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, is going to be that all. You know, and that's why you hear certain brothers, elders, and whatnot often refer to the mark or the Charagma. You might often hear brothers also use the term all. You know, because it's something that's going to be physically put in you, on you, or in you, under the skin. So going into these words, bore, the first word bore, I think the Hebrew is rasha, and it says to pierce of the ear. And you see, because again, going back to these top wicked elites, all right, you know, being the fact that they look at all of us as goyim, cattle, and what do you do with cattle? You brand it. You know, you ever seen, you know, cows, and they got the little stamp on the ears? Well, that's a way of signifying who they belong to. All right. And going back to this law that I just read, this is, you know, as I read, for that Jake that was in servitude to another Jake, all right, if for whatever reason it came time for that Jake to be freed, let loose, set free, and he didn't want to leave, well, this was the process. They were to be branded, all right, you know, pierced through, you know. But not only that, when you get this word all, which, if my Hebrew shows me correctly, if I'm saying this right, the Hebrew word there is masha'ah, which goes into, and I could be wrong, Salakia, but it goes into a boring instrument. All right, so you got the actual instrument that is used in to you know, dish out the piercing, you know, the actual instrument that's used in the branding to brand the actual, you know, piercing instrument, you know, whatever it may be. And in this case, going back to Revelation, because again, you know, the Spirit had me bring it up because, yeah, it does tie into this. Going back to Revelation 13, verse 16, again, to go back to the root word, the root word of mark, again, in Revelation 13-16, all right, which is, again, the Charagma, right, which, going back to that stamp, that imprinted mark, all right, which basically this is the actual RFID CHIP itself, all right. But when you go into the root word of Charagma, matter of fact, I'll just turn it up so you can hear it real quick. well, when you can hear it, the root word of charagma, which goes back to this here. Bear with me.
Strong's G 5482. Charax.
All right. So the root word of charagma, which again, the charagma is the actual device, but you do need some type of system to you know, to implant this device. And that's what the Charax pretty much is, you know, because when you read on, or when you read these definitions, or what this goes into, it says a pale or stake, a palisade, you know. And I mean, you can just do this on your own. You can look up a palisade, all right, you know, do that on your own. But when you do look up a palisade, all right, a stake or a pale, all right, as a matter of fact, the root word etymology, it says to sharpen to a point. All right. So when you look up a palisade, a pale or stake, that's what you're going to get. Something with a sharpened point, right? You know, and basically, what it'll resemble, all right, is a needle. You know, it'll resemble a needle. All right. Obviously, a needle is something with a you know, sharp pointed tip. Well, that's going to be the instrument used in ushering in the charagma. All right. I'm gonna get a quick one. In Luke chapter 19 and verse 43. Because when you think about, I was going to make the point dealing with the crocs in that palisade, that pointed, you know, that pointed tip, you know, that's something that's it reminded me of, because the charagma, the actual RFID CHIP, is going to be enclosed, all right, surrounded by that Charax, all right, that needle, the syringe, you know, and something else a syringe will remind you of, you know, another thing that comes to mind when you think about a syringe, you know, is a serpent, you know, because obviously serpents, you know, because this snake, you know, and that's the thing, because obviously snakes, they have fangs, you know. Obviously serpents, they have pointed teeth, you know. And this devil, man, he's, because it also talks about in this chapter, well, Salakia, Revelation 13 also talks about in that chapter, the deception. Esau, he's going to use a lot of deception and playing on people's emotions, you know, just playing on the poor. All right, he's going to feed off of everyone's needs, man. You know, he's going to create the situations that are just, people are going to be so desperate that, you know, they're going to flock to that for any, you know, type of relief. All right, people are going to flock to that to take that MOTB. You know, this conniving devil, man, this serpent, this dragon. But in Luke 19 and 43, because like I said, I made the point dealing with how that charagma is going to be enclosed in that charax, which again, the charax is just going to be that instrument used in implanting that charagma, the actual, you know, charagma. All right. But in Luke 19 and 43, it says, for the day shall come upon thee that thine enemy shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee round and keep the end on every side. And you see, because that could be twofold. You know, Esau, like I said, he's gonna have it to where basically he's gonna have it to where it's gonna seem like you ain't got no choice. And this is to the unfaithful, you know, because listen, at the end of the day, the Lord has us so not giving a fuck. All right, we really don't give a shit about none of this. All right, you know, I always say, man, I'd rather just take my chance with the Lord, man, because you know, I just take my chance with the Lord. You know, because goddamn, when has Esau, anything that he's ever done, when has it ever been beneficial for anyone? You know, that's why we can't wait for the society to collapse. We can't wait for the day that we, you know, we don't have to wake up to these 9 to 5, these alarm clocks to work these 9 to 5 bullshit jobs, to work with bags of hoses. We can't wait, you know. But these people, hey, they, you know, they're completely dependent upon this system. All right. So in order to basically continue to, you know, be a part of the system, like this prophecy says, to buy and sell, to partake in society, well, you know, he's going to cast a trench. You know, he's going to compass everyone. He's going to hit everyone where it hurts. All right. He's going to hit everyone where it hurts. You know, and these people, again, to the unfaithful, they're going to be forced to, you know, take this MOTB willingly and unwillingly. You know, I mean, if you're not of the elect, at the end of the day, you're going to take that MOTB. So, because you're going to have a lot of people that know that the MOTB is what has been taught by the apostles of Great Millstone. All right. And and some people, they're going to know the judgment, you know, but hey, at the end of the day, they're not of the elect. So, you know, that's tough cookie. But nevertheless, when you go to this word trench, because like I said, you know, it can be double fold, you know, twofold. The word trench, the same word, karax. All right. So that's not, you know, that's not a coincidence. All right. You know, because like it says in 2 Ezra 16, you know, matter of fact, let me go to that because I don't want to butcher it. Lord, one of this is all making sense, and it's all edifying. 2 Ezra 16. This is why they have the FEMA camps, concentration camps, and things of that nature. All right. This is not called the hour of temptation for no reason, you know. 2 Ezra 16 and verse 68. Behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And ultimately, you know, everyone's going to be put in a position, and that's the cold thing about it. You know, the cold thing about it with the Lord is, whether you believe the MOTB or the mark is the MOTB or not, either way, you're still gonna have to make a decision. All right, a choice is still gonna have to be made. You're still gonna be presented. We're all still gonna be presented with the opportunity of taking it or rejecting it. You know, that's the cold part. All right. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot. But the point being in 68 again, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. So again, ultimately that, going back to that trench, being compassed, you know, being compassed. All right. You know, and not only that, that MOTB, the actual Charagma, is going to be encompassed. All right, roundabout in that you know, that Karax, that the palisade, you know, the syringe, the needle, that's going to be the instrument. That's all the Karax is. It's just the instrument that's going to be used in implementing that Charagma. And Slocky, man, I'm a little distracted. I got all type of weirdos and bug outs around me, so I'm trying to just you know, be circumspect. Again, Lord, one of this is edifying them. The message is still being received. Bunch of weirdos, man. But going back to Revelation 13 and 16, going straight back into the root words, mark, which again, the Charagma, the imprinted stamp, or the imprinted mark. All right. And the root word Going back to that Karax, you know, going back to that Karax, which again is none but the instrument that's going to be used in, you know, implementing the Charagma, the actual Charagma. All right. But furthermore, when you go into the root word of Karax, Lord willing, you can hear it.
Strong's G 1125. Grapho. Grapho.
So the root word of Karax being that grapho, right? It says to write with reference to the form of letters on a tablet, paper, or material, to write with reference to the contents of the writing, use of those things which stand written in the sacred books, to fill with writing, to draw up in writing, compose. So basically, all right, this grapho, all right, because, you know, again, why do you think Esau is trying to get everyone, you know, Esau's trying to get everyone's information, right? Because this information is going to go back to a database, you know? And that's the thing with the Charagma, because it's going to contain all your information on it, who you are, you know? And like I mentioned before, because there's going to be a lot of deception, you know? There's going to be a lot of deception. So with that being said, hey, in the name, part of that deception is in the name of convenience, you know? Everyone's, you know, the times are going to come when, and this is already happening. This is another cool part about it. This is already happening, all right? Where in some places you could just walk in, get your groceries and walk out, you know? You see? And that's a part of the convenience, because listen, you know, we don't have to walk around. Well, the time is going to come where we don't have to walk around with credit cards. You know, you don't have to worry about your identity getting stolen. You don't have to walk around with your driver's license or anything, birth certificate, none of that. All you got to do is, hey, just a scan, you know, just a quick scan, you know, and everything about you, who you are, is going to pop up on some database somewhere, you know, where ultimately the elites are going to be able to know, you know, track, trace, right? So that's why more and more Esau, he's getting everyone acclimated, you know, to this system, this new system that's coming. All right. You see, man? So again, you know, I mean, it just makes sense to me that this can't be, you know, it can't be spiritual, you know, because Esau whatsoever, he's not spiritual at all. So, you know, yeah, he's going to put this tag in everyone, well, everyone outside of the elect, and he's going to be able to track, trace, know where everyone's at, you know, the whole 9 yards. Because, you know, Esau, he wants to be like the Most High. You know, there's no coincidence why you have cameras in every corner. You know, like the scriptures say, the Lord's eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun. You know, Esau, he's got cameras everywhere. He wants to be like the Most High. And it sounds far-fetched, but hey, the Lord put a deranged, this man is a madman. He's a mad scientist. This man is, he's crazy. He's really like this, or he's really like that. You know, he really does have a godlike complex, man. And this is the type of power that he wants to accomplish. He wants to be like the Most High. He wants to know where everyone's at all times, you know, so on and so forth. So, hey, you know, nevertheless, hey, that's what it is. You know, the grapho, that is basically that database with all your information on it of who you are. You know, that's basically what it is. It's just that database of all, you know, all your records, who you are. Again, soon people aren't going to have to, you know, walk around with IDs and none of that. Everything's going to be on that CHIP, that Charagma. You know, and you know, a lot of people are gonna flock to that because, hey, convenience. It's just more convenient. You're not gonna have to worry about getting your ID stolen or none of that, get your bank hacked or none of that. And that's why, on another note, because even with all this Bitcoin and all that stuff, cryptocurrencies and stuff like that, well, they're gonna set it up to where, hey, somehow, some way, hey, the federal government is gonna have to. We need control. We need control, because like that whole scandal with the FTX, that was nothing but a push, so to say, to just, hey man, we need some type of regulation, from higher on up, stuff like that. You see, because you got all these crypto guys talking, get out the system and get into Bitcoin, and what? Listen, that's only gonna do but for so long. Eventually, hey, everyone, everyone's gonna be presented with this MOTB, man. That's what it's all going to boil down to. Everyone getting C-hipped, all right, in order to partake in society, to buy and sell. Ain't gonna be no more under the table money or nothing like that. If and like Aaron Russo, that interview he did years ago. Hey, if you owe the IRS money or whatever, hey, they don't have to send you a mail or none of that. They could just deduct it. They just take it out. You say anything against the government, post anything online, hate speech or whatever, they could just, fine you or whatever, they could just take it out. They could just shut your C-hip off. You won't be able to do anything. It's real sinister. When it comes to that MOTB, man, it's a lot deeper than just buying and selling. It's real sinister. Again, Esau has got his godlike complex. It is real sinister, but this is the deal, So Lord, one of this was edifying, giving all praises to Yahweh Bashar Shai. Shalom to you, hopefully elect.